Alright, welcome back. We are going to talk about subtracting mixed numbers here today. It's going to look a lot like what you did in class today about adding mixed numbers. There are some additional topics with subtracting mixed numbers that we will cover at a later date. Today's topic should be the basic overview of how to subtract mixed numbers. So real quick, let's review how we add mixed numbers and how the two different ways are to do that. So if I start with 2 1/4 plus 1 1/2, there are two ways I can go about that. First way, like you learned yesterday, would be the whole numbers plus the whole numbers plus the fraction plus the fraction. And in this case, that would be 2 plus 1 plus, and that's my whole numbers there, 1/4 plus 1/2. Okay, and again here, I need to convert these fractions. I cannot combine them as they are, so I need to find a common denominator, which is going to be 4, so 1/4 plus 2/4, and I'm going to bring that down. So now I know my whole number is 3, my fraction is going to be 1/4 plus 2/4, which is 3/4. So my final answer here is going to be 3 3/4. Well, again, yesterday we talked about the whole number plus fraction, or we talked about 2 1/4 plus 1 1/2, and how to find those as improper fractions. So we know that the improper fraction rule is whole number times your denominator plus your numerator all over your denominator. And as I looked at your quick checks in class today, this going to this mixed number 2 improper and vice versa was really good. So if you feel comfortable doing this, go ahead and do it. So my 2 1/4 turns into 4 times 2, or 2 times 4 plus 1 all over 4, plus 1 times 2 plus 1 all over 2, which we know then turns into 2 times 4 is 8, plus 1 is 9. Oops, gotta change that back to blue. 9/4 plus 1 times 2 is 2, plus 1 is 3. Oops, gotta keep changing colors. 3/2. Well, I know that my common denominator here is 4, so I just need to multiply this by 2 over 2. Equals 6/4. So now I know that 9/4 plus 6/4 equals 15/4. Well, then I go back and I say that 4 goes into 15 3 times with 12, 3 left over. So my final answer here is 3 3/4. So again, it's just a matter of how you have a personal preference in doing this. Sorry about that, drawer. Okay, so let's look back. Did we get 3 3/4 the other way? Yes, we did. So, as we talked about, there's two different ways to do this. So now, as we go back, we are going to subtract mixed numbers the exact same way. So the first one we're going to do is we're going to do 6 7/8 minus 4 2/4. Okay, and the first way we're going to do this is going to be now whole number minus whole number. We're going to keep that, and we're going to add that to my fraction minus my fraction. Okay, and this is going to be whole number here 1, and this is whole number here 2. Okay, so 6 minus 4 plus 7/8 minus 2/4. The reason that we are adding these here, we say that we're adding the whole number and the fraction, is that what we have here is we have a whole and we have a fraction. We need to still subtract the whole number from the whole number, but we're going to have a whole number difference and a fraction difference that we need to combine together to make my mixed number difference. So 6 minus 4 is 2. 7/8 and 2/4 need a common denominator of 8, so 7/8 times 2 over 2 turns into 7/8 minus 4/8. So then I know that 7/8 minus 4/8 is 3/8. Bring my 2 down. So my final answer here of 6 7/8 minus 4 2/4 is really 2 3/8. Alright, well then, so we did whole number, fraction, and fraction. So now we're going to do our improper fraction way. And again, this might get a little messy. Got some big numbers there, but hopefully it should be okay. So I have 6 7/8 minus 4 2/4. So then to find, remember, let's continue to just remember that whole number times denominator plus numerator over my denominator. So I have 6 times 8 plus 7 over 8 minus 4 times 4 plus 2 over 4. So 6 times 8 is 48, plus 7 is 55 eighths, minus 4 times 4 is 16, plus 2 is 18 fourths. Well, now you notice right away that these fractions cannot be subtracted because they do not have a common denominator. Common denominator in this case is going to be 8. So I'm going to multiply both of these by 2 over 2 to change this fraction to 36 eighths. So now I can get rid of that, and I'm going to say 55 minus 36 eighths. Well, I don't know 55 minus 36 off the top of my head. I know that when I subtract fractions, though, that I always keep my denominator the same once I have a common denominator. So I can do that right there and leave it as something over 8. And then over here on the side, I can do 55 minus 36. And I know that I cannot take 6 away from 5, so I have to borrow, important subtraction term, 4. So that becomes, I take 10 away from 5, or 50, and move it there. 15 minus 6 is 9, and 4 minus 3 is 1. Well, then I turn that into 19 over 8. Well, just like we've always talked about, to find out how many, or what this mixed number is going to be, 8 goes into 19 how many times? Twice gives me 16, subtract, and I get 3. So now I know that my whole number here is 2. My remainder is my numerator, and my denominator stays the same. 2 3/8. Did I get the same answer? 2 3/8? 2 3/8. Okay. Again, I'm showing you both ways because I want you to decide what you're comfortable with. You do not or will not need to show me both ways. I might ask one time for you to do it one way just to see what works. But for most of the problems that you will do, you will be able to do it either way you want. So pick a style that you're comfortable with and start to practice that on your own when you have your book practice or if I give you problems on here. Okay? So last one that we are going to do together, and then I'm going to give you some practice to do. So I want to shorten up the video so you can do that practice based on watching this video. Is I'm going to do 7 1/5 minus 4. So minus 4 1/6. Okay. Now, there's a few things that you always need to work on or look at as we're going through here. Now today, it's not going to be as big a deal, but as we move forward, you always want to make sure that the fraction that you're taking away from, so this one over here, is bigger than this fraction. So just keep that in mind. 1/5 is greater than 1/6. Okay, so that's something important to remember just to look for right now. We don't need to do anything with it, but just keep in mind that we're going to start talking about that probably Thursday or Friday. Okay, so we'll do, again, we're going to do whole number minus whole number plus fraction minus fraction. Alright, so then I'm going to do 7 minus 4 is 3. I need a common denominator here for these fractions, which is 30. And to go from 5 to 30, I multiply by 6 over 6. So I know that 6/30 minus, multiply this by 5 over 5 minus 5/30. So then 6/30 minus 5/30 is 1/30. And I got to bring my 3 down. 3 1/30. Okay. Now, I'm not going to make you, oh, yeah, let's do it. So 7 1/5 minus 4 1/6. We know our common denominator is 30. Oh, we actually have to do improper fractions first. So 5 times 7 is 35. 36 fifths minus 6 times 4 plus 1 is 25 sixths. Okay? So I'm going to have to multiply each of these numbers by the other one to get my denominator 30. So multiply by 6 over 6. 36 times 6 is, 6 times 6 is 36. 6 times 3 is 18, 216. So I have 216 thirtieths minus, and 6, I got to multiply by 5, 25 times 5. 5 times 5 is 25. 2 times 5 is 10, plus 2 is 125. So 125 thirtieths. And again, this is really messy. This is a problem where you would probably not want to use the improper fraction way of doing this. Okay, so then 216 minus 125. Again, get the practice of doing it. I do not expect that this is a problem where you want to do it, but I still want you to get the practice. 6 minus 5 is 1. Got to borrow. So I get 91 thirtieths. Well, how many times does 30 go into 91? 3. 1 left over. So 30, or 91 thirtieths turns into 3 1 30th. Let's check. Is that what we got last time? 3 1 30th. 3 1 30th. Now, this math right here, okay, that should be a little bit more difficult. If you're confident in your facts and ability to do multiplication, this way might work for you. All right? So, last thing I want you to do is I want you to do these 3 practice problems. I want to do 4 7/8 minus 3 1/4. 6 2/5 minus 4 1/3. And the last one is going to be 10 11/12 minus 8 3/4. Okay, get those done, and good luck.